Hi everyone, you are Reddit expose there, enjoy watching.
Do you remember that evening when we were sitting on the roof and you said that the stars were just cold dots in a black void? I didn't agree at the time. For me, they were beacons. But now I understand that you were right. 1. Broken watch. I found your hairpin in a drawer. The one with the little pearl. You lost her the day you left. She was lying under the bed, as if hiding. Like me, I've turned on our playlist. The first song is You're My Fireplace, and I'm Just Firewood. You laughed then. What a vulgar thing. But she sang along. Now the silence hurts my ears. 2. Shadows. Instead of you, your shower gel still smells in the bathroom. I can't throw it away. Sometimes I open the bottle and inhale, and for a second you're back here. And then I remember how you said, love doesn't hurt. It should be as easy as breathing. But then why is it so hard for me to breathe? 3. The dream that won't end. Yesterday I dreamed that you called. Your voice was so real. I miss you. I woke up with my hand outstretched. It's 3:47 a.m. On the phone. The last call from you was exactly 197 days ago. I know. I think. 4. The letter you won't receive. I'm writing to you. Again. Although I know you won't answer. I bought the book you wanted. It's on the shelf. I can imagine you taking it, flipping through it, smiling. And then I remember that you won't be coming into this room anymore. 5. The goodbye that never happened. You left without a word. No hate, no sorry. The door just closed, and that was it. I was waiting. A month or two. Then I realized, you're not coming back. But I still leave the light on in the hallway. Just in case. I found an old USB flash drive with the inscription ours. There are photos in it that you haven't deleted. There we are in the park where you taught me to distinguish birds by their voices. Do you hear that? It's a finch. And this is a blackbird. Now I know all the birds in our city, but their songs sound like an echo from the void. My phone saved the drafts. Hey, I was passing by your favorite cafe and break at the 3rd second. Imagine I saw today. Pause, deep breath, deleted. I just wanted to hear. Silence, then a knock. I listen to them at night when the city is falling asleep. Maybe you're awake somewhere too. Sometimes it seems to me that in another reality, we're still together. You didn't drop the theater tickets the day before the performance. I managed to say the don't leave that I was holding in my throat. But this reality is one where your number is no longer active. I've learned. Sleeping on your right side, the left one smells too much of your perfume. Cooking for one person, but I still do too much. Don't turn around when I hear someone laughing like yours. But I still buy your favorite tea. I'm just standing in line with him. Then I leave it on the shelf. Today is exactly 1 year old. I'm writing this letter and I'm not erasing it. I've learned to live without you, but I didn't want to learn that. There's an envelope with your name on it in my desk drawer, next to the hairpin. Maybe someday I'll send it, or maybe I'll burn it. But today I just miss you. I saw you today. Or rather, it seemed to me that it was you. The same turn of the head when you laugh. The same habit of straightening my hair with my left hand. I froze in the middle of the street, dropping a bag of groceries. But when the girl turned around, it wasn't you. Just another random pain. There are some in my drawer. Tickets to the concert, where we never went. The key to your old mailbox. A note in case you change your mind. I know that the letter is no longer there. You picked it up the day you picked up your stuff. But I'm checking anyway. Every morning. You come to me in my dreams. Sometimes we just drink tea and laugh. Sometimes you cry and say you're sorry. And today you took my face in your hands and whispered, "Wake up. I'm not real." I woke up screaming. It was a strange morning yesterday. I woke up and was happy for the first 30 seconds, just because the sun was shining through the window. Then I remembered. And again, that punch in the gut. Today, I threw away your shower gel. Deleted our playlist. I gave the shelter the clothes you forgot. But I left one of your t-shirts. An old, worn-out one. The one you looked especially comfortable in. The phone rings at 3:17 a.m. An unknown number. I pick up the phone, and through the static I hear, "Hey, it's me." Your voice. Real. Not a recording, not a dream. You say something about the rain outside the window, that you accidentally dialed my number. I'm silent, afraid that if I move, everything will disappear. Silence. Then, I'm still, and the connection is cut. I sit by the window until morning, clutching my phone. There are traces of rain on the glass, which is not there. There are a million questions in my head. Why now? Why is it so late? What did you want to say? But most importantly, after all these months, why am I still ready to run to you through the downpour? I'm dialing a number. For the 62nd time in a day. The subscriber isn't available. The same answering machine voice. The same emptiness. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was just another cruel dream. But there is only one incoming call in the call history. At 3:17. The duration is 47 seconds. I'm writing to you for the last time. I do not know if it was real. I don't know if you wanted to say anything. But if it ever gets hard for you, call me. Anytime. Even if it's 3:17 a.m. Again, I am not sending this message. I'm just leaving it in the drafts, next to others. Today, for the first time in a year, I don't check my mailbox. I don't count the days. I can't imagine where you are now. I'm just walking down the street. The sun warms my face. A child is laughing somewhere. Life goes on. But when they turn on our song in the cafe, I still freeze for a second. Just for 1 second. 3 months after that call, I was moving. In the far corner of the closet, I found a box marked unimportant in your handwriting. Inside, movie tickets that we never used, the broken bracelet. I gave you an envelope with the date of our last day. There's one word in the envelope. I'm sorry. Business trip to your city. I stand under the canopy, watching the drops trickle down the display cases. Suddenly I see your reflection in the glass. You're walking under an umbrella, hugging someone. I freeze. It's really you. You're laughing the same way you used to, only now for someone else. My phone lights up at night. The same number. I stare at the screen for exactly 6 seconds, and I decline the call. I find a text message in the morning. I saw you yesterday. You looked happy. I'm deleting the message. For the first time ever, without pain. Today I bought a new watch. It shows the exact time and got a kitten. He hates sleeping. On his right side wrote the first chapter of the book, not about us, but sometimes when the phone rings, I still hold my breath for a second. Just for 1 second. At the mirror in the hallway, I see a new person. No shadows under the eyes, with a calm look, with a phone that doesn't have your number anymore. I nod at my reflection. It smiles back. For the first time in a long time, it's a real smile. I notice you in the poetry department. You're leafing through the book we read together. Your finger lingers on the page with the poem that I once copied to you in a letter. Our meeting is inevitable. When you look up, I'm already standing in front of you. There's a 6-year-old story in your pupils that we won't tell anymore. Hello, you say. How are you? We're sitting in a cafe where we used to kiss in the rain. You're telling me about working in another city, about the new person in your life that you still can't listen to our song. Your phone is vibrating. His photo is on the screen. I pretend not to notice. You're in a hurry. When you get up, your hand lingers on mine for a second. -1 years ago, I would have squeezed it. I'm just smiling today. It was nice to see you. You nod, turn around. On the threshold, you turn around for the last time. There's something in your eyes that I can't read. Regret, perhaps. Gratitude, perhaps. Or maybe it's just a reflection of my own face. In the evening I find your footprint is under the bed. The kitten was dragging it, a dried flower between the pages of a book, the old SIM card with our messages. I'm putting everything in that box. Not to store, just to know where it lies. The new clock is accurate. I've learned. Sleep until dawn. Do not flinch from calls. Distinguish blackbirds without prompting. But sometimes, when a woman with your intonation laughs in the park, I still turn around. Just for 1 second. A year after the chance meeting, the postman brings an envelope without a return address. Inside is a photo of us in that very park and the key to the mailbox that I once gave you. On the back, I found this when I moved. I thought it would be important to you. I've been turning the key in my fingers all day, still not deciding whether to check that drawer. On a day that used to be ours, I'm going to another city on purpose. But even here, in a strange cafe, the waitress puts 2 glasses in front of me before she notices the mistake. The rain is pounding on the roof with the same rhythm that we danced to at that party. I finish my coffee and leave the second glass untouched, as a monument to the fact that I won't be coming back. In the subway car, I dream that you're calling and saying, I get it. I wake up with a jolt in the next seat. A girl in your favorite shawl is reading a book that you haven't finished reading. She gets off at your station. I don't follow her. But after 3 more stops, I feel the taste of words on my lips that I didn't tell you then. The new neighbors play the song we used to kiss to. I freeze with a cup in my hand, listening to the guitar seeping through the wall. I suddenly realize that I no longer remember if your hair smelled like apples or lavender. That detail disappeared along with the pain. The kitten, now an adult cat, knocks over my old watch. The windows are broken, and the hands are frozen at 6:15 a.m., the time of our last call. I pick them up, expecting a fit of longing. But inside there is only a slight sadness, like from an old photograph, in which you can no longer see the details. While sorting through the old boxes before moving again, I find your diary. The one you never let me near. On the last page, dated a week before the breakup. If he ever reads this, know that I tried. But some watches can't be wound back. There is a drop under the text that has spread like an ink stain. Is it raining? A tear? I'll never know. When visiting friends, I accidentally hear your laughter from another room. I walk in, and there's an unknown girl there. But for the next half hour, I find myself looking for your habits in her gestures. He also adjusts his glasses. He bites his lip the same way when he thinks, but he laughs in a different way, more freely, without the shadow that we had. I'm rereading our old correspondence. It's amazing how gradually. Good morning, my love, good morning. Okay, I'd like to hug you soon. Can we reschedule the meeting? Divorce does not happen suddenly. These are hundreds of micro-deletions that one day add up to an abyss. I'm creating a new playlist. The song we met for the song you left. The song I heard today and thought she would like it. I play it in the car when I go to see a new apartment. By the third track, I realize it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just a little sad, like an old childhood photo. My new watch, already the third one in these years, suddenly starts lagging by exactly 6 minutes every day. The master in the service throws up his hands. The mechanism is working properly. Maybe you should just stop checking them so often. I leave the watch as it is. Let them live according to their time. In the new office, I run into a girl who smells like your perfume. We drive 12 floors in silence. On the 7th, she drops the folder and the papers fall apart. Among them, I see a draft letter beginning with the words, "Dear, I do not know how to say this." When the elevator opens, she quickly collects the sheets. Our eyes meet at parting, and in her eyes I read a story similar to ours. But now I just smile politely and let her go ahead. A package arrives on my birthday. It contains the same book that I once gave you. There is a fresh inscription on the flyleaf. Now it's your turn to finish this story. Happy birthday. I spend a week looking at the blank last pages before I decide to add my own line. Thank you for coming back. Now I'm free. In the park where we first confessed our love for each other, I see an elderly couple. They're sitting on our bench sharing an ice cream cone. As I pass by, a woman suddenly says to her companion, "Do you remember when we used to quarrel over nothing?" Her man laughs. But now we know that all clocks will go right again someday. I quicken my pace, but the smile stays with me all the way home. My psychologist notes the progress. I don't flinch from calls anymore. I can drive past our places. I started writing a new book, not about lost love, but about freedom I found. But when she asks if I'd like to meet you again, I honestly answer, yes, to show what I've become. My watch suddenly starts running accurately. On the same day, I receive a letter telling me that you are getting married. Attached is a postcard with a view of the cafe where we first met. I stare at the photo for a long time, then carefully put it in a frame and put it on a shelf, not as a monument to pain, but as evidence that even the most broken watches sometimes find their way. I'm getting your wedding invitation. The envelope smells like the same perfume as our first date. Inside is a photo of the two of you at the fountain where we once hid from the rain. You smile in a new way, calmly, without that anxious sparkle that was in our eyes. I'm putting the invitation on the fridge. Next to it is a ticket to Paris for your wedding date. On the day of your wedding, I'm standing on the Bridge of Arts. In my pocket is an unsent postcard. Thank you for the invitation. I found my happiness elsewhere. An old street musician is playing our song on an accordion. I drop the euro into his case and leave without listening to the end. For the first time in years, not because it hurts, but just because I want to catch an evening excursion. In a small wine bar, a woman sits down next to me. She has your way of twirling a lock of hair when she's nervous. We talk until morning about books, travel, and how strangely memory works. When she asks why I'm alone in Paris, I honestly answer, because someone is getting married today. She pours wine for me in silence. We clink glasses for the new people we have become. A cat is waiting for me at home and a letter from the publisher. My new book is being printed. This is not a novel about a lost love, as I originally planned. This is a collection of stories about people who found themselves after the crash. I open the last page and add a dedication. To those who taught me to let go, thank you. Your wedding, my book presentation, two parallel worlds. When I'm asked to say inspiring words to readers, I look into the audience and see a woman from a Parisian bar in the last row flipping through my copy with a smile. I begin my speech. We are all a collection of stories that we carry within us. 3 years after your wedding, I receive a parcel. It contains our old movie tickets tied with a ribbon, and a note. I found it when I moved. You said you keep such things for books. It might come in handy. I put them in a drawer next to the drafts of a new novel. The next day, I start writing a story about two ghosts who meet in a movie theater where only their shared memories are shown. At the presentation of my third book, a girl comes up to me. She has your gestures, your lip-biting style, but completely different eyes, bottomless and calm. Your character from the story 6 o'clock is not exactly a season chronicle, is it? What is it? She asks. I'm smiling. There is always a place for fiction in good literature. And there's too much truth in a bad one. We drink coffee until the cafe closes. She leaves her phone number on a napkin. I put it in my pocket, but I don't call. While my new novel is getting an award. On the day of the ceremony, my watch stops at exactly 18 o'clock in the hall. Someone drops a book with a loud thud. I see a back in the crowd that looks remarkably like yours. When I go backstage, I find an old ticket from the Prague tram in my pocket, the one we kept as a mascot. Where did it come from? It may have fallen out of a donated parcel. Maybe life is playing its games with me again. That girl from the presentation is now my editor. Today we're arguing about the finale of a new chapter, laughing at the same coffee habits. We are silent when the same song is playing on the radio. I suddenly realize that she doesn't remind me of you. She just reminds me of myself, the way I was before I learned to be afraid. I come to our old apartment. The new owners have allowed me to pick up the remaining things. I find it in the gap between the floors. Our funny list of 100 places to visit, a broken guitar string, the curtain ring that you called an engagement ring. I put it all in a box and leave it on the kitchen table. Let the new residents decide whether to throw it away or leave it as a mascot. On my 40th birthday, a letter arrives with your handwriting on the envelope. Inside is the only photo where we are really happy, and a note. Thank you for being a part of my story. I hope there will be more light in your next chapter. I put the photo in a frame next to my desk, not as a reminder of the pain, but as evidence that even the darkest times were once illuminated by love. My editor is now my wife. Today we're walking in the park where I once confessed my love to you. We're laughing at how much our cat hates your old playlist. Choosing a name for our unborn child as we pass by our bench, I suddenly realized that I no longer remember exactly where we were sitting. And it doesn't hurt. It's just a fact. Our son finds an old box labeled archive, flipping through our letters with you like historical documents, laughing at our ancient SMS. He looks at the movie tickets with interest, which have already turned yellow. Dad, was it really that long ago? What is it? He asks. I nod. A whole epoch ago. He thoughtfully shuffles through the papers. But now you have my mom and me. I see you at the airport. You're holding the hand of a girl with your eyes. There's a familiar binding in your bag, me latest book. Our eyes meet for a second. You smile just like a human being, a nod. I respond in kind. No words, no regrets, just two people who were once important to each other. My son breaks my happy hours. The glass is broken, the arrows are bent, but the mechanism is still ticking. I'm giving them to the master. When I return to pick it up, the old watchmaker smiles. An interesting specimen. The hands are always exactly 6 minutes behind, as if someone had set them up on purpose. I laugh and put the watch on my hand. Let them go their own way. Every day at 6 a.m., I'm making coffee in our old Turk, the one you hated. The cat demands breakfast, nuzzling my slippers. The wife sleeps wrapped in a blanket like a cocoon today. My son got up with me for the first time. With the serious look of a 5-year-old sage, he said, Dad, let's drink coffee together like men. There is no shadow of the past in his eyes, only the pure present. At the book fair, a girl comes up to me with your gestures. In my hands is a tattered copy of my first novel. On page 206 there is a bookmark from the wedding invitation. Was it really with you? What is it? She asks. I flip through the book. It was with a character. And with me, it's something similar, but completely different. She leaves me a phone number. I throw it in the trash at the exit. Disassembling the attic, I find your old sweater still smells of perfume, tickets for a failed concert, the diary that describes our last days from your side. The wife offers to throw it away. The son wants to leave it for history. I carefully put everything back in the box. Let him lie down for another 10 years. I run into your mother at the supermarket. She recognizes me immediately. He talks about your triplets. He stops awkwardly when he sees my wife with a stroller. We say goodbye at the cash register. She suddenly says, You look good. I reply, Thank you. My deposit for the ring has not been refunded. We both laugh, for the first time in all these years. My watch is finally breaking down. The master says they can't be repaired. The hands froze at 6:06. I'm buying new ones with GPS and heart rate monitor. but I don't throw away the old ones. I hang it above the table in the workshop as a reminder that time really heals. They're making my first novel into a movie. The actress playing you doesn't look like you at all. The screenwriter added a happy ending at the premiere. My wife squeezes my hand. Would you do that? I kiss her temple. I did, but Terry found you. My son is falling in love. A girl from his class, the same shy smile, the same ridiculous poems. I give him our old photo album. This is how it was with us. He flips through the pages and laughs. You look so stupid. I agree. Love makes fools of people. And that's great. You're writing to me after 15 years of silence. A short letter, no hints of the past. Please sign a book for your daughter. I am sending the collection with the caption, for Alice. May your story be happier than this one. My wife reads the inscription and kisses me on the top of my head. Gently. I would add sarcasm. My son is going to college. He takes my old watch. He promises to fix them in engineering courses. Leaves a note. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'm sitting in his empty room, and suddenly I realize that I no longer remember what your hair smelled like. And it's not sad. It's just a fact. This morning, my wife makes coffee. It's terrible, but I drink it. The cat, now old and wise, sleeps on my feet. There's a letter in the mail from my son with a photo. He fixed the watch. The picture shows a dial with new hands. They show exactly 7 o'clock. In the postscript, now they are going right. Just like you, old man. Dad, why are you still winding that old watch? My daughter asks, watching as I turn the crown of the mechanism. She's 6 years old and she loves my ritual. Because good things deserve a second chance, I reply, kissing the top of her head. She nods seriously and runs to show her mom that she has learned how to wind her pink watch. A young student asks, isn't your cycle about 6 o'clock an autobiography? The audience falls silent. I look at my watch, the one my son fixed, and answer, everything we write is an autobiography, even when we're composing. In the last row, my wife hides a smile. She's the only one who knows that yesterday I forgot the anniversary of our first date. Walking with my family, I see you. You're sitting on our bench with your grandson. Your eyes meet. No words, just a slight nod, like colleagues who happen to meet at a conference. My daughter pulls me by the hand. Dad, look, there's a squirrel. The story dissolves into laughter and the rustle of leaves. On the 60th anniversary, they give you an expensive smartwatch. They, syncing with the calendar, they remind you of birthdays. They even measure stress levels. But in the morning, I still feel the old mechanism on the bedside table. Its ticking is the best alarm clock. The son brings his granddaughter. She's 3 years old. She reaches for my watch. Take care of them, I say, unbuckling the strap. Someday they will be yours. The wife shakes her head. You're sentimental stuff again. But in the evening I find her polishing the glass of my relic. The granddaughter brings a broken watch. Grandpa, fix it. I'm teaching her how to start the mechanism without damaging the spring, how to distinguish real patina from ordinary dirt, why it's sometimes better to leave scratches. They're part of the story. Her fingers fumble among the gears. Suddenly she looks up. Why are they still 6 minutes behind? I pat her on the head. Because perfection is boring, honey. The university buys my drafts. A graduate student finds an unreleased chapter about our last morning. The bill from the jewelry store, the ring itself, tickets to Paris with the date of your wedding. It's a finished book. He enthuses. I pick up the tickets. No, it's just life. Write your own. You're standing in line in front of me. The hair is completely gray. I have the same medications in my hands. There's a watch on his wrist, not ours. Of course we nod in silence. Your gaze slides over my wedding photo in my wallet. A familiar crease appears in the corner of his mouth, not a smile, but its shadow. In the hospital, my wife reads bad reviews aloud to me. The son brings an old watch. It should be here. My granddaughter draws funny dials on plaster. When the nurse asks me what day it is, I automatically look at my wrist. The clock is standing, but I know for sure. Wednesday, the 6th day. The son wants to call the master for repairs. I refuse. Leave it as it is. The hand stopped at 6:06. The perfect time for the first kiss, the last goodbye, and everything that was between them. My student granddaughter sends me a photo. My watch in the glass case of the literary museum. The sign reads, the prototype of the clock from the cycle 6:06. She writes, Grandpa, they want you to come to the opening of the exhibition. I reply, they'd better tell me why they're still going. A devastating article is published in the newspaper, an outdated metaphor. Who needs these sentiments about mechanical watches in the era of quantum computers today? The wife cuts out a note and hangs it on the refrigerator. Answer them, she says. but I'm already writing a new story about a girl who finds a strange clock going backwards in the attic. Great-grandson sees a watch for the first time. He pokes at the glass with a chubby finger. He gets angry that the arrows don't obey and falls asleep to their ticking. I whisper in his ear, "Someday they will be yours." The wife shakes her head, an eternal romantic. But at night I find her cleaning an antique mechanism. Grandson is a programmer who creates an application, scans the dial, reproduces a characteristic ticking sound, shows our old photos at 6:06. "Now your watch is immortal," he says. I smile. They were immortal anyway, just like everything real. The editor insists, remove outdated points, add a happy ending, update images for the new generation. I'm going back to the original version. Let it stay the way it was, with its rough edges, pain, and that strange hope that lives between the lines. Museum workers discover inside the mechanism a folded piece of paper with our names, your handwriting, a dried rose petal, a microscopic scratch on the dial in the shape of the number 6. It's a whole story. The chief curator admires. I ask you to leave everything as it is. Let future researchers puzzle over these artifacts. The TikToker shoots the video. The magic clock that slows down time. 10 million views, hashtag 6 hours trending week. My great-granddaughter is calling in a rage. Grandpa, they turned your life into a meme. I laugh, better a meme than oblivion. NASA is making an unusual request. The watch shows abnormal temporal constancy. They want to use a mechanism for calibrating satellites. They are offering $1 million for solving the phenomenon. I refuse. Some secrets must remain secrets. On my 90th birthday, I was asked to give advice to young writers. Write as if your words will be imprinted on the clock face. And remember, the real story begins where the facts end. There are hundreds of pairs of eyes in the hall. Somewhere among them, I catch a familiar look. Or is it just a trick of the light? The watch is being transferred to the national treasure. But they continue to lag behind for 6 minutes. Restorers find new layers of memory in the mechanism. Scientists talk about a new kind of temporary matter. I'm leaving a note for future generations. Don't look for clues. Just listen to the ticking. Doctors say that there are only a few days left. I'm asking you to bring me that watch. They're still 6 minutes behind. It's not a mistake of the mechanism. I whisper to my granddaughter, this is the time I have left in reserve. For you. Her fingers tremble as she accepts the relic. I dream that I'm back on that roof. You turn around and say what you didn't say then. Thank you for giving me so much time. I wake up with a smile. It's dawn outside the window. The clock says 6 o'clock. My son presses my hand to his temples. I can feel his pulse beating exactly 60 beats per minute. Wind them up every morning, I say. And don't be afraid when they fall behind. It's not a mistake, but a feature. He nods, unable to speak. When the heart stops, the clock. They make the last tick. The hands freeze at 6:06. The glass is covered with a strange dew. The doctor states the time of death, 6 a.m. At the wake, everyone is talking about the strange phenomenon. The clock in the window stopped at the same moment. All the atomic clocks in the city have slowed down for 6 minutes. The northern lights in the shape of the number 6 were observed in the sky. But my great-granddaughter knows the truth. She whispers in the ear of the machine, take your time. We still have a lot of time.